I am Nick Shell.
I am Mario Garcia.
And together, we are
Jeep Hombres.
To me, this is just an obvious thing that everybody knows. Jeep owners are cool people. I mean, it's a fact. If you're the kind of person that has a Jeep, you're a cool person. That's how it works. But why is that? Now, when I would think of a Jeep owner, you started out, and then I'll take it from there. When you think of the personality type, the general attitude of someone who has a Jeep Wrangler, what do you think of?
I think laid back, honestly. I mean, before I had my car, or my Jeep, and I was driving my Volvo, I was driving a 95 Volvo, and I had a race stripe on it. It was really kind of lame, but I took care of it. And I was kind of uptight about it a little bit, but as soon as I got the Jeep, I was definitely like a lot more laid back after that. And that sense of, especially when I take the doors off and the top off, especially when I do that, there's just like this really relaxing kind of laid back nature of a Jeep, or like that I have acquired since I've had the Jeep. And I see that a lot when I'm passing other Jeep Wranglers and other drivers,
yes,
especially with their door off. We do this thing called the Jeep Wave, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that's really popular. If you didn't know that, and if you were looking to buy a Jeep and kind of see what the community's like, we have this thing called the Jeep Wave. Whenever you drive by, here's an example of the Jeep Wave on Nick's shirt.
Go ahead and read that out for him.
Yeah, so you've got the one finger and the thumb raised. This is while your hand's on the steering wheel. That's the hey. The two is how are y'all? The whole hand right there is how's your mom and them? How's your mom and them? And then no wave, nice Prius. I love that. But that's just something that I noticed, especially with the Jeep Wave or just passing other Jeep owners, is they carry this vibe of just relax.
Yeah.
They're laid back,
yeah,
you know? And it's just kind of like, hey man, how's it going?
I don't think you could be uptight and be a Jeep owner, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think simply put, I was struggling with it when this video first started to really put in words, but it takes, and I don't guess it's necessarily, it's probably like you said though, and that's part of my question here is like, which came first, the Jeep attitude or the Jeep? And I think for maybe a lot of people, once they get the Jeep, then they can mellow out and become that. I think is really what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah.
So here's the level I want to take it to. One of the things I love to talk about on my video, on my channel here, is emotional intelligence. And while that doesn't sound like an exciting word, it's so much power that we have over our own lives, emotional intelligence. So I'm going to run some ideas by you. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm thinking of this guy. What's kind of a pretentious sports car? What would come to mind? I don't know.
Sports car like the Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, that kind of came to mind actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Corvette or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Corvette is like, I'm thinking like, I would say midlife crisis, but I'm 38. I'm halfway through my life, so I'm thinking like a guy in his like 50s.
Sure.
Like with the top off, like
yeah,
he's got something to prove or something, or he's trying, you know. But there's certain vehicles when the person drives it, they're just automatically like the kind of person that would like at a red light, you know, just they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be reckoned with.
Yep.
You know, they ultimately are looking for some kind of confirmation subconsciously. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Like those guys that drive like the 370 Nissan Zs and they've got like the muffler in the back and they drive through downtown Franklin and it's just so loud and deafening.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, so that. So imagine a guy like that. Okay. Because here in the Nashville area where we live in Nashville, Tennessee, there's just a lot of congestion and a lot of traffic all the time.
Yeah.
And you get on I-65, I call it the main interstate of Nashville, but there's 24, there's 65, there's another one too.
440.
Yeah, it's just all these highways that like crisscross, and that's what Nashville is. It's just like a spaghetti bowl of interstates.
Yeah.
But 65 is the main one that you and I live and work off of. Mm-hmm. And so there's this whole paradox. I'll get off of, 440 to get on 65. And there's this concept where you're on this sharp curve, and then suddenly you have to like speed up to get on 65, and like you got to go like 65, 70 miles an hour all of a sudden. Well, where I've lived for 4 years, every day I make that drive to work. There's this concept that if you don't do it quick enough, then someone's going to perceive that you're cutting them off. Mm-hmm. But if you do it too fast, then they think that you're a crazy person. So whether they perceive you drive too fast or too slow, therefore they'll get mad at you is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And no matter how good of a person you think you are in your heart, I have been flipped off many times in that scenario because I was either too fast or too slow. And it just depends on which day and which the person was. But see, that's the thing. Never once has a Jeep owner ever done that to me. And that's just, of any kind of thing where people get mad on the road, I don't think of Jeep owners as having road rage issues.
Yeah.
Like they're in control of their emotions, but again, they're laid back.
Yeah.
And I call that emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, I think everyone deep down has that, like, if someone does cut you off, you're kind of like, really? Seriously? But there's never been that that rage feeling that I've had. Because the Jeep, when you're talking like day-to-day driving, like mine, it's not a fast car. You know, it's not supposed to be. So I think that plays into also that mindset of like, I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to chill. You know,
I'm not in a hurry because it can't really be.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a cruising. Like for me, I love going cruising. That's one of my favorite things to do on a beautiful day down in the Natchez Trace roads, and just kind of, it's windy, it's beautiful, green. It's laid back, it's relaxing. So that's something that I think, kind of definitely goes with the Jeep owner as well. Yeah, so that's I think a very true stereotype and generalization. And I'm not afraid to talk about generalizations. I never have been. I think generalizations are important because if we can establish that they exist, then when people start focusing on the exceptions to the rule, it only reinforces the general rule, which is that Jeep Wranglers are cool people. But when I say cool, I specifically mean emotionally intelligent, because one of the things I talk about regularly on my channel is what makes a guy cool. One of the things is that he's in control of his own emotions. Yep.
And you've watched some of my videos before?
Yeah.
I'm guessing? Okay, so you've probably seen me talk about that before.
Yep.
And it's funny because the breaker switch in my house is right behind my Jeep, actually over there. But I talk about a breaker switch. Everybody has a breaker switch. Most people keep it on to let other people control their emotions and when you get angry at another person, you give them the power.
Yep.
And they're constantly keeping that on. Nick Shell shut it off 3 years ago, actually. I was 35 when I learned, you can shut this thing off. I shut it off and was like, man, I've got so much freedom. And probably that only led me further to the Jeep Wrangler, of the freedom that embraces this when you're not letting other people control your emotions.
Yeah.
And especially for something as silly as how you drive.
Yeah.
And their perception of that. And that whole concept of like morality. So many people are caught up in being a good person, but that's so relative to who you're comparing yourself to.
Right.
So it's like, I kind of feel like we're all in the same group here. It's like, man, that's how I feel about it. I think there's a general emotional intelligence that Jeep owners have, especially compare that to a flashy sports car owner. It's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
So, what if I'm wrong? I could be wrong about this. And if I am, you know how I'll find out?
Something to do with the little white box underneath the video.
Yeah, there's a comments thing, and people are quick to tell me when I'm wrong. And that's okay though, because when you're emotionally intelligent, you assume that at least half the time you're wrong anyway.
Right.
Because then you can learn from that and grow as a person. Only someone who's emotionally unintelligent would say, well, don't you think if I were wrong, I'd know it? Jeep owners, we don't say that.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. You may be right. Oh, that's one more thing. I can't end this video yet.
Yeah.
So I saw this t-shirt, and the t-shirt said, hi, I don't care. Thanks. Isn't that the motto of Jeep owners?
Pretty much.
Let me say it again. Hi, I don't care. Thanks. Like, that's the emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're friendly.
Yep.
I'll say hello. I'll say goodbye. I'll smile, but it's not affecting my day.
Yeah.
It's not affecting my blood pressure. It's not affecting my emotions.
Yep.
There we go. Now you have the opportunity to add your beliefs, your emotions in the comments right here. In case you need a reminder, this is Mario Garcia. I just wanted to make sure, I know we've said that before, but I just want to thank my special guest, Mario Garcia, for being here, because I can only be as cool on my own, but when we could clone me, but in a cooler way, in a different way, in a younger way, he's like the younger clone of me, then it's even better. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Take those comments right here.